Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Diwalog. I hope you all are doing well and feeling all festive up. Now for today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how you can get a dewy long lasting base, because let's be real, we all love dewy base makeup, but it does not last. It smudges and budges and transfers and all of that. So I have a lot of tips and tricks and hacks for you guys so that you can get a glowy beautiful base that will stay all day all night, so you're set for the festive season. So without any further ado, if you want to know how you can get a dewy base that's not going to smudge or budge, then please keep on watching. I'm going to start off with priming my skin, and today I'm using my Shiseido Waso primer, which is a pore filling and mattifying primer. And I know you might be slightly confused right now because you clicked on a dewy skin video and now I'm using a pore filling mattifying primer, but let me explain the science behind this. Basically, whenever you apply anything that is more dewy and glowy, it exaggerates your pores and makes it look much more textured. So using a pore filling and mattifying primer ensures that your skin is smoothened out and you have a nice base, so that whenever you put anything that's even slightly glowy on top will look much more smoother as well. So I'm going to just concentrate this primer on the areas where I have the most amount of pores and where I want my skin to look much more smoothened. So for me, that's right around my nose where I have a lot of pores, also on my nose where I do have a lot of blackheads, and under my eyes where I have a lot of fine lines. My primer is all settled in, and because this is the mattifying primer, it will also ensure that my makeup lasts longer, and that's the end goal that we are trying to achieve. Now we're going to move on to the foundation, and I'm going to be using my Maybelline Super Stay Lumi-Matte foundation. And again, I know you might be slightly confused as to why I'm using a matte foundation for a dewy makeup look. Let's talk science once again. The more amount of emollients that there are in your makeup, the lesser chances of it lasting long. So we turn to matte products to make sure that our makeup stays all day, all night. Now, how you make it dewy is by using a foundation like this, which is Lumi-Matte. So it's not matte to an extent where it looks dry and crepey on the skin. This has a little bit of luminosity to it, so it has a satiny finish that makes sure that your makeup looks very natural. And to add to the dewiness, we use a highlighter, a liquid highlighter, to add that glow back into the skin. The idea is that we're not going for something that's hydrating and moisturizing, but something that's glowy, something that has a little bit of shimmer particles in there to ensure that your makeup has that dewy, glowy look to it. So we're not actually using any dewy products, we're just cheating that look to make sure that our makeup also stays really well. So now I'm going to mix both of these up, and right here what you can do is that if you have an undertone of a foundation that doesn't really match you that well, you can use an undertone of a highlighter that's completely different to that. So for example, if you have a pink undertone foundation, you can use a golden illuminator to just balance all of these out. And once you add this illuminator into your foundation is when your foundation turns much more glowy and just, highlighted of sorts. So I'm just going to apply this all over my face first with the help of my fingers. I'm spreading out a thin, nice layer to just get an even amount of coverage everywhere. And then I'm going to go into my brush, wiping off my finger on the brush to not waste any product. And then I'm going to start blending this out. Now this will give me a very, very natural finish on my skin, which will look glowy of sorts. So it will add that dewy factor that we are looking for. But we're going to be doing a lot of other steps to ensure that our skin looks glowy and dewy and as if we've used like a very, very high hydration amount of product. If I didn't mention, I'm using my House of Makeup Pearly Glow Illuminator, which is a beautiful micro shimmer highlighter. It doesn't have any chunky shimmer particles, which is perfect when you're looking for something to be added into your base. Or you can also go for a stroke cream like this one from Dot & Key. Even this has a beautiful amount of glow in there and will also add some hydration back to your skin. So if you feel like your Poreless mattifying primer is a little too harsh on your skin, you can add this to your foundation to just make it a little more emollient but still keep it pretty long lasting. Now I'm going to move on to my concealing. We're going to do this the normal way, and I'm using my PAC Spotlight Concealer. This is the full coverage concealer, and again this is slightly more mattifying. So this is great underneath and over products that are going to be more glowy because it will just balance all of that texture out. So I'm just going to be applying this in my inner corners and a little bit on my outer corner just to bring some brightness to my face. And highlighting with a lighter shade of concealer also helps in your face just looking much more highlighted and glowy, because this just plays with lights and shadows. A lot of time you don't even need like a highlighter, but just using a lighter shade of concealer helps you in just achieving that look where it looks like, oh my god, there's just a lot happening there. I'm gonna let it sit for like 2 minutes before I blend it out because I want a little extra coverage around my eyes. So I'm gonna blend out the other areas still there. Now this is a full coverage concealer and it blends out really, really quickly. So it's perfect to pick up if you're someone who's just beginning with makeup and you don't want something that's going to be very, very overwhelming. A lot of times really high coverage concealers or mattifying concealers can be a nightmare to blend. Trust me, been there, done that. It can be a nightmare to blend, but this just blends out so seamlessly, so easily. I actually have used this with my fingers as well, and it works beautifully. You don't need a lot of tools with it, which is great. You know, that's how makeup should be, that it should be able to work even without tools. I hate it when a lot of brands are like, this is how you can make this work, or this is how you're supposed to use it. I'm like, no, it's just makeup. It's not that serious. Just give me a break. Now is when I'll start switching things up, because I'm gonna be using my setting spray, which comes from Makeup Revolution. It's their Fix and Glow Dewy Finish Setting Spray, and the name says it all. Basically, it has shimmer particles in there. Again, we're going for shimmer versus hydration to make sure it lasts long, and because this is a setting spray, it will also make sure that my makeup and everything just stays in place. Now, you need to shake this up because the shimmer particles can settle down before you just mist it all over your face. And I'm just gonna give myself a quick little shower. The reason why I'm doing this right now is also because I want my foundation to have an overall glowy appearance before I go in with my blush and highlighter and all of that. So I'm just going to give my face a nice little spray. It will also take away any matteness that I might have going on right now. I really hope you now get the direction that I'm trying to take with this tutorial. But it's now time to move on to my bronzer. And if I'm being very honest with you guys, shimmery bronzers are not my most favorite thing. Up until now, they've never worked for me. I don't know if things will change in future. But for right now, I love a nice glowy bronzer or a cream bronzer. But shimmery bronzers, not my jam. So I'm going to stick to something that I absolutely love, which is the Rare Beauty Bronzer Stick. Now this works beautifully on my skin. It's such a beautiful, gorgeous product. It blends out like a dream, just gives me a nice amount of natural finish that I absolutely love. So I'm just going to apply it on the areas that I generally love to bronze and bring some definition back to my face. And I'm going to start blending this out. It blends out like butter. It has absolutely no issues with blending, and even with longevity, even though it's a cream product, it lasts all day, all night, because once it's set, it is set. However, it doesn't fall like a matte finish on your face, which is a beautiful finish to have. It has a nice skin-like finish even after it's blended out and it settles down into your skin. So I'm just going to blend all of this bronzer out to get some definition and some bronziness back to my skin. The easiest way of making your makeup look dewy is by using a glowy blush. So I'm using my Glowy Worth It Medium by L'Oreal, which is a beautiful blush. It has a nice creamy texture to it. It's so easy to blend out, and it has a gorgeous glowy finish on the skin. And you can go a little heavy handed with this one because it's not extremely pigmented to the point where you just need to touch it, and even then you can end up with clown cheeks. So I'm just going to tap it on my skin and blend it out. And again, it doesn't have a lot of emollients in there. It just has a nice amount of shimmer, which gives it a glowy finish, almost makes it look like you are hydrated, you had your water, and you're also flushing from within and giving you a blush and a hint of color. Now to enhance this glow a little further, I'm going to go back in with my liquid illuminator, and I'm going to place this very strategically. So I'm going to only place it on the highest points of my face where light would hit. So not on my complete high cheekbones, but only on the apples of my cheeks, on the tip of my nose, the cupid's bow, and a little bit between my brows as well. Just these tiny spots, nothing more. And then I'm going to dab it right in place. I'm not spreading it too much because I want the dewy and the glowiness just to be restrained to this area, so that I can make it look like I have extra dewiness here while the other areas are just glowy and just beautiful, natural and nice. So I'm just tapping all of this down, and you can take a couple of minutes with this step because you don't want to get this done very quickly and then just get it everywhere. So just tap and make sure it blends out into place. It's time for another layer of our setting spray. So just shake it up before applying it, and then just give your face another quick little shower in this one. This will again just ensure there is extra dewiness and glowiness added to your skin before we go in with our powder. Now your powder will make or break your look, so choose one very wisely. Powder is going to be extremely important to make sure your makeup lasts well and doesn't crease and smudge and budge away, but it can also make your makeup look dry. So again, as I said, choose your powder very wisely, and I have chosen my e.l.f. Halo Glow powder. As the name suggests, this gives your face a glow as well because this has a little bit of mica mixed in there as well. If you don't have something that's glowy like this, you can take your loose powder and just crush up some powder highlighter into it, mix it up, and then use that. But don't go overboard with the highlighter, otherwise it would look like you have disco balls on your face. Just take a little amount. I would say the ratio of 5:1 or even 6:1 is great. So like if you're using 6 spoons of loose powder, then 1 spoon of, your highlighter, your crushed up highlighter. But I'm using this powder which has already pre-mixed mica elements into there, which gives your face a very, very glowy finish. So I'm going to be taking this, I'm going to be running my brush into my cap, just smoothing it out so I have a nice coat of powder on my brush, and then I'm just going to press it on my under eyes. I'm not just dusting it everywhere like that. I'm not going in with a thick layer. I'm pressing this in so that it makes sure that my makeup doesn't budge or smudge. And if you have oily skin, just give your whole face a nice dusting of this powder. I'm actually going to be giving my face a dusting of this powder today as well, because as I said, I want this makeup to last really, really long. Like, I want it to be there till I decide it no longer needs to be on my face. I'm also going to be pressing it down on my smile line. So pressing down your powder on any areas where you tend to have your makeup move a lot or maybe crease a lot is going to help in it making just last a little bit longer. If you just dust it like that, it's not really going to fill into any pores or fine lines. So just press it in really nicely so that it can really, really set those areas down. And for the other areas, I'm just going to give it a quick little dusting to ensure that I have a little bit of glow going on while also my makeup is set and it's not going to move. Like, I can be stress free about my base. And now we have a final quick little shower in our setting spray, and this will just really seal the deal for us. This will make our makeup last long and make it look very glowy, dewy and beautiful. So shake it up to activate all of the shimmer particles in there. And again, if you don't have something like this, just crush up your highlighter and add to your setting spray. You can do that and just DIY this as well. But make sure you really finely crush your highlighter and also that you don't clog up your spray. So use a thicker spray pipe to just make sure that you get a nice amount of shimmer particles in every little pump. So I'm just going to spray this all over my face, and I'm going to be a little generous this time. You can even do 2 layers if you want to keep it that way rather than going like all in at once. So you can just wait for a couple of seconds and then go in with another layer of your setting spray to just make sure that your face has a nice amount of glow and it will just stay all day, all night. And that's it, guys. That's how easily you can get a glowy, dewy base that will actually stay on your face for as long as you want it to stay. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And if you did, then don't forget to comment and subscribe, because that would mean the absolute world to me. Also, let me know what other makeup tutorials you guys would like to see, and I would love to do them for you guys. But that's gonna be it from my side for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, take care. I love you all so much. Mwah. Bye.